Hello and welcome back to my channel, Welsh Reviews. I'm Gareth, and today I'm going to be doing my spoiler for Leigh Whannell's new movie, Wolfman. So, this is a new interpretation of the Wolfman story. It is directed, as I said, by Leigh Whannell and written by him. He was a part of this project before. I think when Ryan Gosling was going to star in this movie, but I think he went away, and I think Ryan Gosling was going to star and direct. But then I read something that a collaborator of his as well, Derek Cianfrance, who he did Blue Valentine with and a couple of other movies, was going to direct, but they went away from the movie. I think Ryan Gosling is still an executive producer on this movie, but Leigh Whannell came back in to direct and write it. So the movie does star Julia Gardner, Christopher Abbott. They play husband and wife in this movie. Matilda Firth plays Ginger, their daughter. Benedict Hardy is Derek. You'd recognise his this actor if you've watched the other Leigh Whannell movies. He has been in Upgrade, and he was in Invisible Man as well. Sam Yeager plays Grady, Blake's father. You only see him in the beginning when Blake's a young child. But Ben Prendergast plays the Wolfman in this movie as well. So this is not your typical Wolfman movie. It ain't. It is a little bit of a change on the genre. They play this one more of a virus that gets transmitted, obviously, when you get scratched or bitten by a wolfman. It is, but they class this one more of a thing. So when you get it, you I'd say slowly, but pretty much a quick transformation, to be honest, compared to you see in other ones where it's like a full moon that transforms you, but it's not. You start the minute you get scratched is when you start transforming. Pretty much your body does into this grotesque wolf-like creature. It is, but a movie is pretty much about this family. They not inherit so much Blake's father's house as in the wilderness in Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. It is, but when they get there, they crash due to Blake seeing the Wolfman on the road, and then they make it to the house, and then it's pretty much them trying to wait out till morning to try and escape. It is, but unfortunately with Blake, he is transforming during this time as well. It is, and then we do get a couple of emotional scenes in this movie as well. It is, but overall, I gotta say, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed with this movie. Love when Leigh Whannell's work is writing for. He was in like Saw, Dead Silence, Insidious. He's written for The Invisible Man, was a brilliant movie, and Upgrade is probably still his best movie in my opinion. It is. But I expected this movie to be kind of like The Invisible Man, a bit more emotion-driven movie, but something that's out of the ordinary and takes the genre in a very new direction. It does take it into a little bit of a new direction, like I said, with the virus and stuff like that. But overall, I think it was just, to me, just a tiny bit disappointing. I'll go into my positives first of all, and the acting is very good in this movie, especially by Christopher Abbott, who plays Blake, the father. I thought he'd done a brilliant job, especially with the transformation scenes of him changing and that. I do like it's like he hears banging at one stage and he thinks there's someone coming in upstairs, but when he goes upstairs and he looks into the closet, it's just a spider crawling up the wall, and he hears the footsteps of that spider banging and banging and banging. They do a beautiful little change of when he starts turning really bad. He can't understand his wife, and then his wife can't understand him, kind of just speaking gibberish to each other. But the camera goes around and it shows his point of view, where the colour changes and it brightens up a bit, and then you see like the glows in his wife's eyes and stuff like that. It is, and then when it turns back to the wife and she's looking at the husband, it goes back to normal, being a very dark, normal-looking situation. So I did appreciate that. I did like that part of it. I did like the design of the Wolfman as well. I'll put a picture of you what people thought it would look like, because it was like a Universal horror thing up in America where they had a plastic mask of what the wolf looks like, and yeah, everyone really beat the shit into it, thinking, "Oh, looks absolutely awful." Does not look like this. The picture as I'm showing beer, it is a very minimalistic version of the Wolfman. It's not like from the 2010 Wolfman, like full on hairy and stuff like that, or like howling or stuff like that. Big giant ones with like that looks more like a wolf. This is more of a little bit of hair growing, the jaw breaking, and the teeth and that. But I would say it classes more like, if you've seen a picture of Wolf with Jack Nicholson, kind of like that a bit. It is, but a bit more updated to now with the better prosthetics and that you get in this movie. But yeah, I find that very good as well. Did like the music of this movie as well. That was very good and creepy. Did have some very good atmospheric moments. The beginning of this movie where you have a young Blake and his father going out hunting, and like the Wolfman is kind of hunting them down, and they're in a deer house like up in the tree and that, and the wolf does come up, and all you see just above the door, you see his breath coming up. It is very atmospheric and tense moment, that is, which pretty much comes back to the end of the movie, kind of bookends each side of the movie, it does. But yeah, like I said, the acting was fine. I thought Ginger, the young girl, was very good as well, and Julia Garner was very good. It is. So overall, directing, cinematography and all that, I thought was very good in this movie. What I go into my negatives now, and it is pretty much like I said, the story is very basic. It's nothing too surprising. You anything that happens in this movie, you kind of guess throughout the whole movie. There is a tiny little twist in it, but you kind of see it coming a mile away, to be honest. It is. I wasn't the biggest fan as well of the family dynamic in this movie, to be honest. Julia Garner, they do say about, she says in this movie and all that, how Christopher Abbott's character at Blake is more closer to Ginger than what she is. Blake and Ginger have this kind of rapport during the movie, and that where he pretends that she can read his mind and stuff like that, and how close they are. It is. But with Julia Garner's character, Charlotte, she's not as close to the thing. So they say that in the beginning, but when they get to the house and all that, doesn't really take it any further, to be honest. It does. And it is like a thing of, Blake's character is the one who's protecting the family, and that's what he says during the movie over and over. It is, I'm here to protect my family, my daughter, and all that. So it is changes to Charlotte's the one who's got to save the daughter and stuff like that. But they don't really delve into it enough. I thought with what Leigh Whannell did with the Invisible Man and bringing it into the new era with a suit and stuff like that, I was expecting maybe something a bit better than what we got with this movie. But I think, yeah, the story and a bit of the acting in the beginning and all that, kind of a bit of a negative for me in this movie. But overall, it's still a very good movie. I did enjoy it overall, and I just wish it, like I said, it was a bit more emotional in some scenes and that. But, you can't get everything, unfortunately. I'd probably give this movie a solid 6.5 out of 10. It had the potential to be very good. Brilliant movie. It doesn't crack my top 5 werewolf movies. I doubt that it would crack my top 10, to be honest, right now. Maybe if I watch it a couple more times in the future, which I definitely will own, it is, maybe it will creep up, and I'll, you know, maybe I'll enjoy it a little bit more in the future now and all that. But for this time being, a 6.5 out of 10 I think is a respectable score for this movie. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, tell me what you thought of the movie, if you've gone and seen it, or if you're going to go and see it, how excited you are to seeing this movie, and put a couple of horror werewolf movies down in the comments that you like, and I'll get back to them, man. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.